get your own shit while your pink pig pork rind smelling ass is out here in these streets destroying lives. I'm the one that's been saving lives, and I'm not the one or the two to be with. So I advise you to keep Miss Neck and Back's name out your mouth.
Now, Fat Joe is in the headlines once again, and not for his outlandish stories that have Jadakiss going, "Come on, dog." We all know Fat Joe for stretching the truth in his content for virality, but this time, this is anything but that. A female rapper is accusing Fat Joe of messing with young girls or young women. Either way, their age is way too young for Fat Joe or anybody over consenting age to even look their way. Now, Fat Joe was interviewing Cardi B to promote her new album that was just released, Am I the Drama? Where, in an attempt to connect with Cardi B, Fat Joe mentions a female rapper and says that she called the police on him back in the day for something very insignificant, like a noise complaint. But after Fat Joe told that story, this female rapper would go on to accuse Fat Joe of the unthinkable.
Who's on your Mount Rushmore female MCs?
I grew up listening to Remy a lot. I like Trina a lot. I always say that I listen to Trina a lot. I used to listen to Khia a lot, Lil Kim a lot. I used to listen to all of them.
Who's Kai?
Khia.
Neck in my back.
Now, we all know who Khia is. The My Neck and My Back artist might be a one-hit wonder, but it's actually the one hit we don't wonder about. Now, I mentioned in a previous video that Academics is the GOAT of fabricating unawareness and aloofness. When I see others try to mimic, it never hits the same for me, especially with Fat Joe. He did all that pretending just to use it as a segue to set up his whopper of a story to explain his beef with Khia.
My neck, my back.
Yeah, she got some cool records though.
She did me dirty one. She did us all dirty one time. Like, how the the girls my neck, my back? We hanging out in the hotel and she called the cops on us. Like, yo, them making too much noise. They like, yo, the girl there.
My neck and my back.
My neck and my back, nigga. Like, how the my neck and my back?
You know she coming at you.
Supposed to call the cops. She called the cops on us. Well, we was in Phoenix, Arizona. B-Fab, all of us talking in the hallway, and they was like, yo, the girl right there. She called the cops. Said, my neck, my back? She called cops on us?
I ain't gonna say that because that roasting. She could roast. That could roast. Tell her you love her because she could roast.
I love you, Khia. I don't want no smoke.
Now, if a stomp down from the Bronx like Cardi B is telling Fat Joe to watch his mouth, I think Fat Joe should have heeded that warning. But the smoke was already in the air. Fat Joe and a lot of other content creators need to realize not everyone plays the same internet games as you. Some people hear a joke or a lie about them in a story and brush it off. And then some people like Soulja Boy will have a full Instagram live meltdown. And in this case, Khia is more like a Soulja Boy because she took to her Instagram live and proceeded to air out Fat Joe almost immediately. But not in like a typical roasting or doing the dozens type of fashion, or even just saying his story was cap. Khia came out with some pretty salacious comments and accusations aimed directly at Fat Joe. Now, I don't know if Khia knew about the current lawsuit that Fat Joe was in and just used this as an opportunity to throw gas on the fire. But if you guys don't remember, Fat Joe is currently embroiled in a lawsuit against a former friend, Terrence T.A. Dixon, accusing Fat Joe from 2005 to 2020 of unpaid wages for vocals and other things. But the most egregious was inappropriate acts with minors, claiming two, in fact, were barely in high school, and Fat Joe paid for a BBL for one of them. Terrence T.A. is seeking $20 million in lost damages. T.A. would also include pictures and images of the alleged minors that Fat Joe was supposedly involved with, who happened to be in high school. Now, if this is true, this is crazy. But T.A. will go on to accuse Fat Joe that minor Doe 1 is a girl barely in high school who would receive cash, clothes for performing sexual acts on Fat Joe. T.A. goes on to say that Doe 1 asked that Joe pay her cell phone bill and that Joe, being notoriously cheap, said he didn't have it. Then Doe 1 became irate and started cussing and yelling at Fat Joe in the car, which prompted T.A. to tell Fat Joe to pay the bill that was under $100. This is what T.A. is saying. I don't know how you sue somebody for $20 million and say one of the reasons you deserve compensation is because you saw Fat Joe committing the most unthinkable of atrocities against a young girl. But in my opinion, or legally, isn't that accessory to a crime at the very least? But either way, you don't want to be in this position when someone like Khia has you in her sights. Now, Khia has a different story than what Fat Joe told Cardi B. Joe said that he was just hanging out with other artists, him and Fabulous, in a hallway, and the police were called because they were being too loud. But now Khia's retelling of events is drastically different, and to be honest, legally alarming, because Khia would allege that Fat Joe and his entourage were in the hallway drinking and drugging underage women. Minors, if you will.
Fat Joe, your fat ass. No, you finna get roasted this morning, gag order. Fat Joey bag of donuts. You mildew smelling. You. The people been sending in a lot of shit. You been out there talking about the queen. Okay, you knew you was gonna get it, didn't you? You know you hadn't fucked up, right? Well, if you didn't, somebody should have told. Knew it and been told this story, but since you want to tell it, let me tell a version that need to be told. Here, want to hear? Here, go. Okay, I'm on the road at the hotel trying to get my beauty rest after a gig. Done secured my bag and took my ass back to my hotel suite to lay down and go to sleep. Okay, we all artists after a show sharing the same hotel, but not sharing the same evidently. Okay, we sharing the same hotel floor because that's all we have in common. The gag order. And here come your fat, funky, stinking, okay, spoiled pig looking back along with the rest of your crew being demonic freaks per usual. Gag order. Diddy ain't the first and won't be the last freakazoid. It started with you. Okay, being demonic freaks and mutants. You know, got a hall full of and underage sluts ready to okay, waiting outside your hotel room door ready and waiting to get drugged and gang banged. And so you can watch your homeboys so you can look at and booty hole because your ain't long enough to reach nobody ball. All right, child. I open my door like, what the fuck is going on up here on this floor? I'm trying to get my beauty rest. What the fuck is going on here? Get home and clear this hallway slurping and slobbing on dicks in the halls, decking the halls and balls, okay? And it wasn't even the Christmas holiday. Like and watching your homeboys let you tell it, your crew and your other fellow rappers that's freakazoids like you, other than 4 and 5 o'clock in the morning off that shit. Not on my floor. Gaggle, that's why your fat ass got all kind of crimes and suing the fuck out of you and a bunch of lawsuits and sexual assault suits and rape and lawsuit charges now on your fat ass. You should not here want to tell the put the police on you. You should have told them what. Well, you ran terror squad, all right, terrorizing booty holes and young hoes. Gag order back then, and you still doing it now. Alleged, yeah, right. Gag order, you a nasty and you was doing it, you did it, and that's why they suing you and pressing charges on your fat ass now. You know why you trying to act like you innocent? You know I called the police on you for a reason. All right, I was trying to say them. We gonna just tell the truth, tell it how it go. Yeah, right. I called the popo hoe and I'll do it again. Running around out here in these streets with titties longer than mine from DJ Khaled, sucking on them. Kiss my ass. Let's get that right. You a demon dog. You a sex demon. You was them drunken and them little young. And I put the popos on you.
Now, when I saw that clip, the very first thing I said to myself was, Fat Joe should have listened to Cardi B. Khia has been doing hip-hop media content on her channel infinitely longer than me. She has amassed quite a following from her rap career and seamlessly pivoted to media content. So in my opinion, do I think she's lying about this story? Unfortunately not. But at the end of the day, it's all just a story. If Fat Joe hasn't been convicted, if we haven't seen a paper trail, we haven't even heard Doe 1 confirm these allegations. But that wouldn't stop Khia from her destructive burn the house down rant that I know Fat Joe wish he'd never opened the floodgates of.
You and all them that was there with you wasn't by I was out of order and them young girls was in danger. I seen crimes being committed and I called the law. Gag order, just ask your hype man. He was there. Gag order in that order. Look it up. In that order. I hope he take you for everything you got and all them young that you f***ing destroyed their lives too. Gag order, because you did it. Alleged. Not alleged. I heard, I seen, I heard, and I called 911. Someone please call 911. This getting and drugged with Fat Joe in this hall. Get the law up here fast. As far as I was concerned, them slut puppies were in danger. Okay, gag order in that order. Criminal activity was going on and your fat ass should have went to jail without the bail. That's where you should have went. Because you and your crew didn't mean to be no good. I seen and I heard you, bitch. Gag order, I saw a bunch of young freakazoids in danger. I said, no, ma'am, Pam, and not on my watch. Clear this all in that order. You remember how I walked out there with my hair wrapped up like a queen? It's still wrapped up like a queen now. Locks on deck. Gag order, baby, when I came out there in that hall with my long, beautiful silk nightgown all the way to the floor. Gag order, looking like a goddess. Okay, and I seen all them in danger on the hall in the hall on my floor. I told them to clear that hall. Get from in front of them doors, waiting to get and drugged and beat the up and kicked out on their head. Get home! 911 is on the way, and I went to dialing emergency number. In that order, I was saving lives, like I'm still doing now. Gag order in that order, putting up on game. Don't trust these. Don't trust these. Don't trust no fat ass. Okay, smelling like Porky the Pig. Get your own shit and let them know that these with a raw. With a head on the shoulder knows how it goes when it's time to let them get gone and they call 911. Get the law up here to lock them up. And I do it again, gag. Or don't trust these. Get your own shit while your pink pig pork rind smelling ass is out here in these streets destroying lives. I'm the one that's been saving lives, and I'm not the one or the two to be with. So I advise you to keep Miss Neck and Back's name out your mouth. Because I've been telling these stories before Jaguar, right? I've been telling these stories before all these decide to want to tell. I'm the original roasting gagger. I've been telling these stories since MySpace. If you're really a Thug Mrs. Fan, you remember? All right, in that order, you a nasty. Now your sick, freaky, sloppy, fat ass is fighting cases left and right. Talk about that on your podcast while you're talking about me. In that order, talk about Big Pun wife and how you stole all Big Pun money and then give it to his family while you're talking about me. You imagine how your sweat smell.
Now, I had no idea what Fat Joe opened up when he spoke his name into existence. Diddy has a Jaguar right, and I guess Fat Joe just acquired one too. Aside from the jokes being hilarious, and aside from that annoying bang on the table, any outsider looking in could see that this spells trouble for Fat Joe. Khia doesn't look scared or like she's grasping at straws. It looks like she's telling her story from memory, and Fat Joe better be worried that TA doesn't call Khia in as a witness in his case against you. Now, Fat Joe tried to go the Jay-Z route of countersuing TA. Some say it was to get ahead of the lawsuit and strike back at your accuser. Unfortunately, I see it for what it actually is, and that's Fat Joe playing Big Bank Take Little Bank. Whoever's money is longer will be able to see this case all the way through to the end. It's a play as old as time. It's just interesting to me because on his podcast, Fat Joe has a million wild stories he's ready to tell. But this story, he doesn't even want to side glance in that direction at all. And to me, that's what you're supposed to do legally, but innocent people behave differently. With me, there'd be at least one leaked text message, phone call, DM, snippet, something of me proclaiming my innocence. But for Fat Joe, no. And that's why Khia's story looks like it has a lot of validity.
Yeah, you never let nobody looking like you get on top of me. Who lifting up your belly to find that little ass d? Who opening up your ass to eat it but DJ Khaled? Gag, go to your wife no hard is what you treated to die. She was there taking a man whoopings for a check is what we the people say. Talk about that. Gag order. I hope all them niggas come forward and tell your truth since you won't. All right, gag order. No crackers lock you up, you fat ass bastard. And throw away the key. Eat shit and die, Joey Bag of Donuts here. Oh, what's that? Heart, stress, bad puss, disease, high blood pressure, low blood sugar count, low T cell count. And that gout, no Ozempic, and karma is killing your ass slowly. Good. Nobody coming to your funeral. Stop telling on yourself and keep my name out your fat, funky ass mouth here. All right, I'm on Liza's side. You know Big Pun's wife. Okay, you wasn't Big Pun's friend. You was his enemy. None of them hoes friends either with your pussy. What kind of man leaves his friend, wife, and children home just struggling to survive? Doing podcasts is now telling the pack a lie. Gag order in the absence of a man who once provided for them, and you know they needed that the man's money. He helped you come up and you wouldn't even get the money to his wife and children. Tell that on your podcast and stop talking about me putting the popos on your nasty ass when you was out there them little young and doing orgies and stabbing your goddamn hype man and DJ that he didn't want to Diddy Jr. Find you somebody to play with and go straight to hell, Joey Bag of Donuts. Okay, now replay this. I bet you won't end that.
Now, this story is insane, if even 5% of it is true. Prince T.A. Dixon's lawsuit definitely has some legs. But to be honest, with these allegations, aren't those more important than T.A. getting compensated for some song lyrics? But let me know in the comments, do you think Khia is telling the truth in her story and Fat Joe needs to be looked at by law enforcement for his actions? Or do you think that once someone achieves a certain amount of wealth and status, fraudulent lawsuits come out of nowhere all the time? And if you made it this far, click the left side of your screen to see why Atlanta gave NBA YoungBoy a key to the city, and in turn, he dissed all their rappers right after. And also, Don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe, share to be aware, put me in that algorithm study to be there, man. Because I know there's 10 other streamers doing it like me, but
Fuck that little 10.
maxed out.